Hi YouTube, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can find me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. So I think this is going to be our knife edge retention tips, probably number 8. The last one was using the wrong grit, or trying different grits to find out which one you like. The big takeaway of that is that it seems like, for me personally, that the lower the grit edge finishes tend to give me a lot better edge retention than the higher grit finishes. Mostly what that's about is that, let's say this is a 325 grit edge, and this right here is a 10 or a 12,000 grit edge. And of course I didn't finish drawing that, but imagine all these lines all the way here and then all the way down. Okay, these are your scratch marks from your sharpening stone. That 325 grit edge has got a whole lot more space in between the teeth. Okay, that allows material to get into those spaces as you're cutting. All right, now since each one of those teeth is cutting a good amount of material, it's gonna, that 325 grit edge or 200 to 700 grit edge is gonna cut with much less force because it's cutting way more efficiently than a higher grit edge. Okay, now we're going to take that a step farther. Have you ever been dressing out a mule deer? Okay, and it's been a really good summer. There's been lots of rain, there's lots of grass, and that mule deer has got fat underneath his backside, underneath the hide on his backside that's that frickin' thick, right? There's fat up inside his body cavity. I mean, things were really good for this buck that year, right? Now you go to skin that dude out, and it seems like your edge is just, I mean, you use it for a little bit and it just seems like it's just instantly going dull. A lot of times what happens with that, as long as you're not cutting into the hide, but let's say you're skinning him, so you're cutting from the inside out, what's happening there is the fat is plugging up your teeth on your edge. Kind of a wild thing to think about, right? Okay. It also happens when you're cutting, fatty meats in the kitchen too. What happens is like I said, these teeth right here. Now this is a knife edge under magnification. Okay, a knife edge to the naked eye is going to look smooth like that, right? But the second you put it up under magnification, you're going to see your grooves from your abrasive, on top of your sharpening stone, and then that's what makes these angled lines. So if you were, if you're holding your knife angled to go up and down the sharpening stone, you'll get angled scratch marks. If you're pushing it straight, you're going to get straight up and down scratch marks. Either way, you're going to have scratch marks that are the size of the grit, and you'll have little peaks. It'll look like a little mini serrated knife. Well, that fat will plug up these grooves in the side of your edge from your abrasive, right? And once that fat plugs up those grooves, it basically turns it into that smooth edge. Okay, and we all know a smooth edge has no slicing ability at all. Okay, so really fine edges and edges that have been plugged up with fat, they won't have any slicing aggression at all. The way to get around this, okay, is to either wash the fat out, okay, or you can palm strop. Now, I do an awful lot of palm stropping, pretty much it just cleans the edge, okay. Palm strop straight razors after you shave with them to get rid of, all the trash on the edge, blood, pus, little bits of hair, all that kind of stuff before you strop it on your strop. Because you can wash the palm of your hand real easy, and you can't wash your strop as easy. You can do the same thing. So if your edge gets plugged up with fat like that, palm strop it, okay? That will typically clean the fat out of the teeth and let you get back to work, okay? You can also strop it on your jeans. If you're, if you're working all day, if you're just dressing out one deer, okay, fine, great. Your hands are probably going to be messy enough already. If, kind of depends on you if you want to strap on your jeans. You can keep another, another length of blue jean or something like that to strap on, to clean that edge off. And that's, about the only way to get through that is just to try to keep the edge as clean as you can. But that is going to be one thing that, and it'll shock you. The first couple of times it happens, you'll be like, man, I just sharpened this dang thing. And then you'll be like, okay, well, I need to go sharpen it. So you go to your stone and you'll be like, man, I don't want to get all that fat all over my stone. So you wash the thing, and then you'll check the edge again, and it'll feel sharp all of a sudden. And you'll test it on your cheek, and you'll be like, well, heck, it's still popping hairs off my cheek. How can this thing be dull? You'll go back, you'll start cutting with it, and after, 5-10 minutes or however long it takes to get that enough amount of fat into your edge to plug it up, it'll go dull again. And you'll go back and forth until you realize that fat's plugging that edge up. All you got to do is get that fat out of there, and it'll start cutting back the way it should. So this is a quick one this week, but yeah, try to keep the fat out of your knife edge. I don't really know that happens with anything else. Not with like anything oily or tape. Tape will do much the same thing. If you're opening boxes and you're not cutting the cardboard, but you're cutting the tape that's holding the cardboard together, that tape is real sticky and it will plug up your edge also. So that'll be another sign if you, you're just cutting the tape and you're thinking, man, this thing's really dull all of a sudden. Go, either palm strop to get that tape out of the edge, or go clean it off with some Dawn or some acetone or something like that, and that edge is still underneath there. It's just plugged up. So anything sticky, anything fatty, anything like that will plug your knife edge up. So again, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.